Yo, what is going on everyone? XpertFusion here, and I know I've been pumping out these Black Ops Cold War Zombies videos today, but I absolutely adore that reveal, so I feel like I just kind of have to, you know what I mean? But today in this video, I want to talk about the top 5 best and worst things about that reveal. So what I mean by that is the 5 things that I enjoyed the most and the 5 things that I enjoyed the least. I'm not necessarily going to put them in any specific order. I'm just going to list off 5 great things and then 5 not so great things. But to be honest, the not so great things aren't even really that bad. A lot of them are just kind of concerns about systems that were announced, and it doesn't necessarily have to be from the trailer itself or even the reveal video. It could just be something we heard in the blog post or something we heard from Treyarch themselves. So no like leaked information or rumored information or anything like that for this specific video. So let's get into it, starting off with the 5 best things. So since the internet is very negative and they tend to enjoy the negative things more than the positive things, we might as well start with the 5 worst things about the reveal itself. And like I said, some of these aren't even that big of a deal. Some of these are just kind of more so concerns about the future. But I'm going to start off with the first thing being the fact that we can choose any starting weapon. That's what it sounds like. They weren't very specific with that system, but it sounds like you can choose your own sort of gunsmith loadout weapon of choice for the beginning. This isn't terrible. This isn't going to be game breaking, I feel, but it does take away from that zombies feel that I feel like we kind of should have. Even Black Ops 4 and World War II, which only let you use like a few different like weapons. You couldn't use any weapon you wanted. There was a couple other starting weapons. I kind of think it makes the map feel a lot more special when there's just one starting pistol like the M1911, and it makes that gun feel more iconic because you always spawn with it. And I know you can choose that yourself, you can force yourself to always spawn with it, but I think it just feels better as a whole if everyone has to start with that. I think having these gunsmith loadouts is really cool, but let us have to actually purchase that gun off the wall or get it out of the mystery box first, or something of that sort. I don't think spawning with it is good. I think having those early rounds with just the, your starting pistol as well as the wall guns around you is a better thing. But like I said, it's not a big deal. It's just like, I just don't know I'm gonna love that system that much, but it's not game breaking at all. Next up is the characters. Now, I actually like the fact that we can use operators in zombies. I'm actually happy with that. But the problem is we don't have 4 specific characters for the map. I think it would have been cooler if they had an actual 4-person crew, but then on top of that you can choose whatever characters you wanted. Just like World War II, where they had a specific crew, but they had other unlockable characters that you can use in there. I'm all for using operators in zombies. I think that's a great idea because it makes like zombie players actually care about the operator skins from the shop. So I might actually try to grind out the battle pass so I can get these skins because I'll be able to use them in multiplayer and zombies, which is really awesome. But I think not having characters makes it so we don't care as much about who we're playing as, and I feel like the quotes are going to be a little weaker. They're not going to have as many quotes. There's going to be a lot of repeats in quotes, I feel. I think that can definitely be an issue, but at the same time, it's not game breaking. It's not that big of a deal. We just have to see how it plays out. A lot of these things we just have to see how it plays out to really truly know. Next up, the leveling system. Now, this isn't a big deal as well. It's not. But they have confirmed that multiplayer and zombies is going to share progression. And this doesn't mean there's going to be no prestige. They can definitely still have prestige with this system. But the problem I have with this is that you're not going to know specifically how much you played zombies or how much you play multiplayer unless you look in like detailed statistics. But just simply looking at your level, I liked having separate levels for multiplayer and zombies. Now, battle pass progression, that should definitely be shared. I'm glad that is going to be shared. That's a good thing. But leveling up, weapon levels is different. I'm fine with that being shared. That's fine. But Infinite Warfare did that. They shared weapon levels, but they kept the actual level itself separate from zombies to multiplayer. Same thing for Black Ops 4, they kept it separate. So if I see someone's Prestige 5 or something in multiplayer, for example, how do I know they haven't played a single day of multiplayer and they just grinded zombies for 5 prestiges and then their first time on multiplayer? How do I know? I don't know that, you know what I mean? And I don't really like that. I think it'd be a lot cooler if you had it separate. And you're also gonna get to max prestige way too quick unless they, expand the amount of prestiges in the game. I just think those should be separate for sure, but again, that's just not that big of a deal in my opinion. It could be good for people, you're always grinding out your levels, I guess, but I think having it separate is just a better system overall. I don't want them to try to combine the modes too much, and that feels like they're trying to combine it just a little too much. Next up is it's more of a concern than anything. It's the free DLC, which sounds great on paper, but I'm worried they're gonna like lower the quality of the content itself and lower the quantity of it as well because of that. Because we already saw it happening with Modern Warfare 2019. We only have 5 new maps in Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer throughout the entire DLC season. 5. We usually get like 10 new maps. We've had 5 new multiplayer maps because all the other maps have been either taken straight from Warzone or the remakes of old maps. And I think that's definitely because of the free DLC. That has to have something to do with that. I feel like they just kind of didn't, and also because they're being pushed onto the next game earlier. I know they're probably working on a model for 2 so much earlier. And this isn't a big deal if they're able to manage it correctly, but I'm worried that we're just not going to get that much content, and it's going to be like a lack of content. You know what I mean? I could see, honestly, us getting like 4 DLC maps, and then that's it, which is what we usually get. But I feel like people are expecting so much more this year because it's like such a big year for zombies, and I feel like people are going to expect a little bit more than that. And I don't think we're going to get that much crazy shit as we usually do, like especially from like Black Ops 3, for example. I don't know. I'm worried that the maps themselves aren't going to have enough content on them because they're going to have to cut back. This map looks great. Don't get me wrong. I'm worried about the future of the maps, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm so dead wrong with that. Hopefully free DLC does not make a difference, but it's just a concern. I have to mention it. And last but not least, this is not even a bad thing. This is, again, another concern. We don't know if this is going to be great or not from this. We have no idea. We need gameplay. We need to actually see it for ourselves, play it for ourselves, see the HUD, see how killing zombies is in action, see how the AI works. We have to see all of that to really know how it is going to be. So it's kind of impossible to say this mode's going to be the best thing ever, even though it could definitely not be. That's all I'm going to say. I think it looks fantastic. I have hopes it will be. I'm just saying, that is something to keep in mind. So let's get on to the best things, the 5 best things. And obviously there's a lot more than 5 things, but I had to dial it down to just 5 things. First things first, the visuals and the overall tone of this map is amazing. And I say that because I really like how it starts being kind of scary in the beginning. It's like really dark. You're using the flashlight to look around. It's very horror type-esque. But then when you turn on the power, it becomes colorful and it's like bright and it's like, it looks fun. It just looks like a really fun map. I was really worried it was going to be too serious, too dark, and too gritty, and I'm glad it's not, because to me that grittiness gets kind of boring after a while. Like World War II tried it with the Final Reich and it got kind of boring after a little bit, and I really like how they're not going that route, especially with the trailer song. The trailer song was perfect. It really gave me those 80s vibes and that just kind of fun, let's just mess around, kill some zombies type of a vibe, and that's exactly what I wanted to see from this trailer. I'm really glad it's that way, so that's a huge plus. Next up is the perks. Everything about the perks, well, most about the perks, at least as to what we know about the perks. So first of all, the looks of them are amazing. The visuals of the perks, oh my god, the new perk designs are insanely cool. I am glad that we're getting the classic perks back, but I'm also really glad that they're changing how they look a little bit, because it gives it a new vibe, it gives it a new feel, and now they're cans instead of bottles. That's a really cool thing. And of course, there's the upgradable perk system, which sounds so cool, man. We had kind of upgradable perks in Black Ops 4 with the modifiers, but it wasn't as fully fledged as what this sounds like it's going to be. And of course, there's no perk limit, so that kind of fixes the whole crutch perk problem that I knew was going to be a thing, and I really wanted them to figure that crutch perk problem out. And honestly, removing the perk limit kind of fixes it for me. I think that's a fine thing to do it. Like, assuming there's like, let's say 7 perks in this map, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, Jug being a crutch isn't a problem. Quick Revive being a crutch is not a problem. You just buy them all now, you know what I mean? I think it would have been, in my opinion, a little bit cooler in terms of progression if they had a 4 perk limit, but there was earnable, perks like on top of that, like we've had in most maps before. But all you have to do is make it so it's not insanely tedious, make it so it's a simple thing to do, like maybe after you get a certain amount of kills, it gives you another perk slot, something like that, so it feels more progressive. This is still fine though. I think that's a completely fine system. We just got to see how it plays out in game, of course, but I really like how this perk system sounds already. Next up is the story. Now, I'm not a big story person. Like, I follow the story, I care about it, I'm interested in it, but it doesn't really affect the game as a whole for me. Like, if it sucks, it won't really matter that much to me, but if it's really good, then it's gonna make for a fun ass story to follow. And this story so far looks pretty interesting because it's not completely new, although it is a new chapter of the story we had previously. And I was worried it was going to kind of undermine the sacrifices that Primus and Ultimus made, but I honestly don't really care that much, because it's like, it feels like a sequel to like a long-running franchise, but it's like completely disconnected. So it's not really, those characters don't even matter anymore to us, you know. And they mattered at a point, right? But now it's a new world, it's a new place. It's just going to have some storylines kind of connecting, like Samantha, which is apparently that woman. It's not confirmed, but it's like very hinted at, and most likely the case that is Samantha in the trailer, which is really awesome. I hope she's a playable character at some point. And I'm interested to see what else connects back to the previous story, like what else we get from the previous story. I hope we have some returning like wonder weapons and stuff. I really wouldn't mind that. I'm sick of seeing the returning locations. I honestly just want to see more returning wonder weapons. I want to see like the Slick of Fire back or something. And we probably will get stuff like that in those, you know, Victus remakes that we might still be getting. Transit, Die Rise Buried are not off the table. Just because we're not getting it for launch does not mean it's not going to happen at some point down the line. So definitely look out for that. Next up, very glad it's not bare bones. I was really worried that the community would get to Treyarch and all these people, mainly casuals, being like, we want zombies to go back to its bare bones classic roots like Black Ops 1 and World at War, and not have anything on it other than a perks and pack-a-punch, and that's it, and we just want to kill zombies and not have any Easter eggs. So glad they didn't follow that. I was a little bit worried they would do something like that, but this sounds like it's going to be just like Black Ops 3 and 4, where you have tons of Easter eggs, you have tons of side quests, you have tons of craftable things, but it's still going to have a lot of new features that are still casual friendly, like these. I didn't include the exfil system in good or bad because we don't really know much about how it's going to work. It doesn't sound like a bad system, it sounds like interesting, but also there's a whole weapon rarities thing. I talked about that in a different video, but those sound like interesting features, and I would have included that on the best because they were interesting, but they don't sound like the best things ever, you know what I mean? But I'm glad we have a lot of this depth to the mode. There sounds like a lot of features. It's going to keep it replayable, which is good. It's going to make it fun. And last but not least, for the best is the bosses. The boss zombies looked awesome. Like, we had a lot of really cool looking zombies within this trailer. We had, not in the trailer, but actually a screenshot that Treyarch shared, which looked like a mix between Brutus, the Cosmic Silverback, the Panzer. It looked like a mix of like a million different like special zombies we've seen, and it looks pretty badass. I don't know if this is going to be like a boss on the map or if it's going to be just a boss on another map maybe. I don't know, but it looks really awesome. We have the Nova Dogs, which look really cool. Catalysts, I'm going to call them Catalysts because they look like them from Black Ops 4, but we don't know what they're actually called, but they look pretty cool. And of course, we have that Hazmat Zombie that like shot lasers out of its eyes, or some like, you know, Nova 6 looking smoke. It looked really dope. And I think boss zombies are a really important part to zombie maps, as long as you don't overdo it with them. I know like Advanced Warfare's Exo Zombies, World War II, and BO4, specifically the Chaos maps, had a big problem with overdoing these special zombies. They were just like way too many of them. I think you got to keep them so they come in every now and then. And it's from the gameplay trailer itself that what we saw, it didn't seem like there was too many of them. So I think that's going to be okay. And yeah, like I said, I'm really damn excited. There's really not many things that are, you know, disappointing about this reveal. In those worst categories, there were some things I was like meh on, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to ruin the game. Hopefully, again, we can get some feedback to the devs for things that maybe we don't like when the full game comes out, and they can always make updates. So if there's things on this list that I'm not really happy about, maybe it'll get a change at some point. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll still got more maps to come for launch as well. Dead Ops Arcade 3 was, you know, announced. Vietnam map is apparently going to happen based on leaks and rumors. So there's more for us to see, and we got the beta coming soon. Man, Black Ops Cold War is just sounding to be so damn good. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.